Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video, we're taking a look at the GameSir X2 Type-C mobile controller. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, GameSir provided the X2 Type-C for a fair and honest review, and that is exactly what we're going to do here. Taking a look at the side of the box, it says it's got a Pro Grip eSport class thumbstick and a one-click screenshot. Taking a look at the back of the box, it says minimize delay, wired connection born for esports, because this plugs directly into your phone, it's not Bluetooth. Plug and play with a maximum angle of 51 degrees with its Type-C interface. 2 mAh ultra low power consumption. Since this doesn't have a battery, it does use power from your phone. 2 mAh isn't much at all. Micro switch buttons with a 3 million stroke lifespan, soft rubber grips with cozy handheld feeling, and it supports Android phones with a maximum length of 173 millimeters. This works out to about 6.8 inches. Opening up the box, and the first thing I see here is a pretty nice carrying case. GameSir is known for this. Inside the carrying case, I can see the controller as well as a box here that says accessories. Inside that accessories box, we've got some thumbstick grips, a warranty card, an instruction manual, and a sticker. My first impressions of this controller is that it feels exactly the same as their Bluetooth controller, which we'll take a look at in just a second. The top of this controller does have L1, L2, R1, and R2 buttons. On the back of the controller, there really isn't a whole lot. It's just got the GameSir logo and a couple of rubber grips. On the bottom of the controller, there is a USB-C port. It can be used to charge your phone while you've got your phone plugged into this controller. Now, for those wondering about the USB-C connector on this controller, it does pivot quite a bit, and that is a welcome sight. It greatly reduces the chances of damaging your phone. The X2 does pull apart quite a bit here to fit a number of different phones. If you have a larger phone, you might be okay. They say about 6.8 inches, but I would actually recommend just a little bit under that, because if this thing is fully extended, it does flex quite a bit. And just for reference, here is a Red Magic 6R. A Red Magic 6R is just a little over 6 inches, and it pretty much pushes this controller to its maximum. I wouldn't recommend going bigger than this phone. If your phone is bigger than the 6R, you might not want to consider this controller. Here is a tape measure just to show you exactly what I mean. It is just over 6 inches. In terms of weight, the X2 Type-C is coming in here at 168 grams. For comparison's sake, here is the Bluetooth version of the same controller. It's coming in at 174 grams, just a little heavier. And for some more comparison, here is the Bluetooth controller right beside the Type-C controller, and they are almost identical. They have the same controls. The screenshot button is on the bottom left, the home button is on the bottom right. The buttons are in the same place, the joysticks are in the same place, they're pretty much identical. There are a couple of differences though. The color is different. The Bluetooth controller doesn't have that Type-C port to plug into your phone, considering it's wireless. The other main difference is on the bottom of these controllers. The Bluetooth has a power button where the Type-C one does not, and that's because the Type-C one doesn't have a battery in it. It's powered by your phone. The Bluetooth one also has that LED indicator, and the Type-C jack on the Bluetooth is for charging the Bluetooth controller. Now, testing this controller out with a few different games, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. I didn't have to worry about any sort of pairing issue, considering it plugged directly into the phone and worked via OTG. Everything worked absolutely fine here in Rocket League. Now, testing out this controller in Dolphin, and the buttons were surprisingly responsive. There wasn't really a whole lot of input lag, and that is a really nice thing when it comes to mobile controllers. I was very impressed with the low latency of this. The joystick itself was pretty accurate. I was very impressed with it. It wasn't dropping any inputs. Everything was coming out nice and clean. The D-pad on this one also worked pretty darn good. I wasn't missing many inputs at all, and it was very responsive. I also wanted to test out the pass-through charging feature here, and it was working as anticipated. I had my phone at a fairly low power. As soon as I unplugged it, it let me know that the battery level was pretty low. And when I plugged it back in, the warning went away, so it was charging pretty well. Now, I do want to take a quick second here to address a pretty big elephant in the room. One of the big selling features to this Type-C controller is the fact that it's compatible with Egg-NS Emulator. In fact, Egg-NS Emulator will not work unless you've got this controller. EggNS is a Nintendo Switch emulator and it's highly controversial. I have covered EggNS in previous videos. At a high level here, it's suspected that they've stolen Yuzu Code, which is an open source Nintendo Switch emulator on PC, and then closed the source, so you have to buy the controller in order to use it. This emulator is not accurate at all, it doesn't perform well at all, and it probably never will. On top of that, it's highly suspected that this app also might include some malware. It's not available on Google Play and it probably never will be. So let's get into what I like, what I don't like, and whether or not I'd recommend the GameSir X2 Type-C mobile controller. And we'll start out here with what I liked. First and foremost, I like the feel of this controller. It's comfortable to hold, it's fairly compact and light, and it did fit my phones fairly well. I tested it out with a Red Magic 6R as well as a Google Pixel 5. In addition to that, I love the joysticks on this. They feel great, they perform very well, and they're very accurate. The buttons feel good, the shoulder buttons feel good, and the D-pad is pretty decent as well. I really like the fact that there is pass-through charging on this, and one of my favorite features of this entire controller is the fact that the Usbc port here is flexible. It does bend, so you don't have to worry about it damaging your phone too much. Now, getting into what I don't like about this controller, and there are a couple of things here. First and foremost, if you have a bulky case on your phone, if you have pretty much any case on your phone, you might not be able to use it with this controller. You might need to take that case off. This Usbc port, they have extended the metal connector here, but if you do have a bulky case, it will block the connection. Some people have cut away a little bit on this controller to make things fit, but at the same time here, if you don't want to cut into your controller, you're probably going to have to remove that case. The second thing I don't like about this controller is the fact that it doesn't feel very durable. They do say they have a 3 million click for each button here, but at the same time, I play a lot of fighting games. I'm fairly hard on some of these controllers. And after some extended use with this on the joystick, even though I love the joystick, on the bottom right hand corner, I can hear the springs a little bit. So I'm worried about long-term durability on this. This one is fairly minor, but I do wish the grip to hold your phone in was a little bit bigger. I wish the lip came up a little bit more to go around your phone a little bit better. It is fairly easy to pop out your phone if you do twist this when it's extended. And also the joystick here, although I love them, I think they're raised up a little bit too high, at least for me. When I'm playing this and I've got my thumb over here trying to press the buttons, it's very easy to tap that joystick. I kind of have to bend my thumb over just a little bit here to hit those buttons without touching the joystick, and it does get uncomfortable after a long gaming session. And the last thing I don't like about this controller is its association with EggNS. That is a pretty big drawback in my book. So taking both the pros and the cons into account, let's get into whether or not I'd recommend this controller. Right now it's priced at $69.99 for the Android version, which is the Type-C version, and $69.99 for the iOS version. At this price point, it puts the X2 into a premium category with a bunch of tough competition. At $70 here, I don't think I recommend this controller unless you can pick it up on sale. $70 is very expensive for this. Yes, it performs well. Yes, I like this as a controller. It's a great controller. But at $70, there are some very nice alternatives. On the other hand here, if you can find this controller on sale, which might not be too hard to do, then yes, I would recommend it at a lower price. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Huge shout out to GameSir for providing this for a fair and honest review. Let me know your thoughts about the X2 Type-C in the comments below, or if you're using the Apple version, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos, don't tempt fate, save your state.